In an era where slogans have mingled with blood and reason has been blinded by deceit, I felt compelled to raise and analyze what I perceive as a profound intellectual and moral outcry in my forthcoming work, entitled The Monstrosity of Our Century: The War on Palestine and the Last Western Man. In this study, I have endeavored, with all the effort and clarity I could summon, to unveil another face of Western civilization, one that has long prided itself on humanity, freedom, democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. These are the very values the so-called collective West claims to have conceived, nurtured, and defended. Yet today, this entire edifice seems to be collapsing in shame under the moral test of Palestine. As readers will discover, this book is not a historical narrative, but rather a civilizational indictment of an entire age, a tracing of the West's transformation from a beacon of liberty into a silent, if not complicit, witness to genocide, from a champion of human rights into an executioner of silence before crimes so horrific that they defy comprehension, forgiveness, or oblivion. I began from the war on Gaza in particular, and on Palestine as a whole, to offer a comprehensive vision of our contemporary global reality. I have come, regretfully but decisively, to the conclusion that what we are witnessing today is not merely a political conflict, but a historic turning point marking the collapse of the Western hegemony that has dominated the world for 3 centuries. I call this transformation the dawn of a new era, the age of de-Westernization, in which power is being redistributed, universal values are being rewritten, and moral balances are being redefined. The higher purpose of this work is to deconstruct the dominant Western narratives by exposing the falsity of the manipulated media discourse that has inverted reality, portraying the victim as the aggressor and the aggressor as the victim. To this end, I have cited testimonies and reports from within the West itself, confirming that what is unfolding in Palestine truly represents the monstrosity of our century, as described by Francesca Albanese, the UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in the Occupied Palestinian Territories, a crime committed before the eyes of the world under the deceitful pretext of Israel's right to self-defense. Yet this work extends beyond geography. It ventures into the philosophical and existential depths of our time, confronting a profoundly human question: who is the last man? And does he still bear the essence of humanity, or did he forfeit it when he chose silence in the face of genocide, the crime of all crimes? In this context, I revisit Francis Fukuyama's thesis in The End of History and the Last Man. My reading, however, refutes his conclusion. I argue that the last man, embodied today in the modern Western individual, is not a symbol of Western civilization's triumph, but rather its elegy, a man who has lost his soul, who has traded values for selfishness, conscience for power, and compassion for domination. Through this work, where geopolitical analysis intertwines with existential reflection on the condition of modern humanity, I have reached a firm conviction. Palestine is not merely the cause of an oppressed and occupied people, it is the mirror of the world's conscience.